Hey, yo, guys, welcome back to your favorite podcast. Yes, sir. This is Around the Leagues. I am your co-host, Keenan Allstott. We got Luke Parrish on the other side of the screen. I don't know if it's left or right. It varies depending on whatever. I don't know. Anyway, we glad to have you guys back. We got a hell of a show for you today. March 31st, 2021. If you guys don't know, now you know. Tomorrow, opening day for baseball. Later on in the show, Luke and I are going to be giving all of our season predictions. Everything from Cy Young, MVP, playoffs. Going to throw some sleepers in there. Stay tuned for that. We're also going to be talking a little NCAA. We got the Final Four set for the weekend. We've also got a little bit of news in regards to Indiana basketball. But first and foremost, nobody's had a better week in sports than the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the undisputed baddest man on the planet, Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, I mean, he kicked ass on Saturday, Sunday, however you technicality or whatever. I will say, my ESPN Plus kicked off, I don't know, about 30 seconds before that fight ended, but I was able to catch it on Twitter pretty quickly. I mean, first of all, we can get into it with the Holloway fight as well. Refs were very interesting on Saturday with allowing and when they were calling fights.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Ngannou's a behemoth, and
yeah,
he just fucking rocked.
Oh, for sure.
World.
Fifth time in UFC history, the challenger was a favorite and won the title. Francis, I mean, if you watched his last four fights, we know Duke can starch cats. Starched Velasquez, starched Dos Santos, starched, who else am I thinking? Rosenstrike. Dude has just been killing folks. And so he comes into this fight. Everyone has said, you know, what's been different since the first time? We know Francis can knock people out. We know Stipe's a great wrestler. We haven't seen anything about Francis's wrestling. Well, Francis came out in the first round, came out heavy leg kick. You could tell that was going to be a problem early. Stipe halfway through the second shoots for the takedown. Francis sprawled, and at that moment, it was a wrap.
Yeah.
Francis got to the side and just boom, 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 like six very hard shots to the face. Stipe gets up. He's a little rattled. Ate a couple more heavy punches in the first round. You get to the corner. Stipe's heavy breathing. His face is already swelling up. Francis, to his credit, controlled, calm, didn't go out there wild like he did against Rosenstrike. After the first, Ngannou won the first clearly. 10-9, as clear as you can get it. It was like, this is a wrap. Like, Stipe had one weapon, and it was to take him down, and that was neutralized basically from Jump Street. And so, second round comes out. Stipe, knowing he has no answer, has to stand up with the scariest striker on the planet. Stipe gets dropped with a jab. Do you know how hard that is to do? You could run at me. You could be sprinting at me, and I hit you with a jab, and you're probably not going to go down. Francis, that God, Greek, whatever, drops him with the jab. Stipe gets up. He's on Dream Street, right? Check left hook, leg bends back. Francis with the cinder block hammer fist, and we have a new heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it was not a very long fight, and it was by far the longest Ngannou fight I've ever watched. The last couple, I've only watched two maybe, and they were both like immediate knockouts.
Yeah, his fight with Miocic on Saturday night, twice as long as his last four fights combined. The guy has fought 5 times since he last lost to Derek Lewis for a combined 7 minutes. Yeah, he doesn't get paid by the hour.
Yeah, I mean the reaction that I saw on like Twitter, like everybody knew it was coming, and it was still just mind blowing.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, you feel bad because a dude just lost part of his soul, but it's never not funny to see a dude just get his shit rocked. No matter who it is, you see a guy just completely lose everything. It's it's part of it. So like, it's kind of to be expected. So like, I can't be too like cautious.
And it's crazy, right? Yeah. For the first time since like Brock Lesnar back when we were kids, like 10, 12 years ago, for the first time since Brock Lesnar, you have a heavyweight champion of the world who legitimately looks the part of the baddest guy on the planet. Stipe, to his credit, dude is a very technical wrestler. Dude's got power, knocked out Daniel Cormier, defended the world title more than any other heavyweight in history. You're not looking at Stipe and thinking, yeah, that dude looks like the baddest man on the planet. No, I mean, you can go to basically any gym in America and you're going to find several Stipes. Back when Cormier held the title, hell, I'm 6'1", 240. You know, I've got the same frame essentially Daniel had. You know what I mean? So, and people didn't look at Daniel as the baddest. When Brock Lesnar held that title, 6'3", cutting down to 265, muscles on top of muscles, dude looked like the baddest. So you look at Francis, 6'4.5", Greek god stature. I mean, he looks like the baddest man. So he is a legitimate megastar. Legitimate. Yeah. I mean, our parents had Mike Tyson. Our grandparents had George Foreman. Our great-grandparents had Joe Louis. There hasn't been a heavyweight boxer in our lifetime who has captured the imagination like Tyson did. Lennox Lewis, great heavyweight champion. Nah. Vladimir Klitschko, great heavyweight champion. Very boring. Just tie you up. Anthony Joshua, I mean, the guy can knock you out, but I mean, he doesn't have it, right? Tyson Fury, probably the closest thing that we've had to it. Maybe Deontay Wilder. Wilder gets a shit rock. Get him out of the equation. Francis Ngannou, you put him in a boxing ring, 12 rounds with Deontay Wilder this Saturday night. I'm not entirely sure Francis doesn't win that fight.
Yeah. Which is, I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, dude, I would not want to be within a mile of the guy. I mean,
dude's
the Punisher. He scares me, and I'm a fan of his.
And he's got everything that you want, right? I mean, the guy. I mean, he's got a great story. You know, fought to get out of Cambodia, goes to Paris. He was originally going to train to be a boxer. And you don't see like just straight boxers or straight kickboxers. They don't come into mixed martial arts and become world champions. The most like you see wrestlers, straight wrestlers come into mixed martial arts and become world champions. You see it all the time. Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren, Colby Covington was an interim world champion, Mighty Mouse, you know, Daniel Cormier. I mean, the list goes on. But you don't see boxers make that transition very often. Francis, legit striker, figure out how to take down to defend a takedown. That dude is, I mean, who are you going to pick to beat him?
Yeah.
Which is funny I asked that because who does he call out except for maybe the greatest fighter to ever live, greatest mixed martial artist to ever live, excuse me, Jon Jones. Now, I don't agree with that statement. GSP's top of my list, but Jon Jones, if you're going to include steroid era fighters, he's top 3. Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou is a 9-figure fight.
Yeah, well, and I know Jones was posting about it. He was like, show me the money. That's all he said. Or whatever, or something along those lines. And everybody's like, oh, you're scared you want to get the paycheck. No. It's going to be a big fight. Every big fight's going to have a big payday. He's saying, yeah, I want the fight. Yep. Pay me for it, and we're going to have it's going to be a show. That might be when I legit actually, you know, visit ESPN a little bit. But
and see, show me the money is the international phrase for I don't want to fight that guy. It's like if I'm going to get knocked out, I want to get paid well for it, you know? Because once you get knocked out, your chin just isn't the same. I mean, Stipe got knocked out by Cormier since the last time him and Ngannou fought, and look what happened to him. He just got starched. You know what I mean? So Jones, I mean, he's never legitimately lost. He's got one loss on his resume. It was a DQ early in his career in a fight he was dominating, okay? Jon Jones, people for over a decade have wanted to watch this guy lose. Francis, I mean, Jon Jones in his career, he has always been the bigger fighter, right? Since he won the light heavyweight title back in like 2011, people have said, "Oh, this guy can move up to heavyweight." He's just been so much bigger at light heavyweight. He's got an 84-inch reach. Francis has an 83-inch reach, so the reach doesn't matter. And Stipe, or not Stipe, Jones is going to have like a 30-pound, maybe 20 to 30-pound weight discrepancy between him and Ngannou. Ngannou cuts to make 265.
Yeah.
So if he gets hit with a big shot, that might be it. And keep in mind, Jones isn't known for his one-hit knockout power. The dude is good with volume. He can hit you with some kicks that'll put you out. But in terms of just one punch knockout power, he's never been known for it. So unless we don't know what his gas tank is going to be like at 240 pounds. And so he tries to take tries to take Francis down. Who says Francis just doesn't lay on him? And then all of a sudden, we could see Jon Jones get starched.
Yeah. And it'd be exciting. I mean,
Absolutely.
Obviously, his like I don't know what the term is for UFC, but like his off the field history definitely doesn't look great. But like, dude, that'd be a fight I wish I could go to it. Like, it'd be nutty.
Legitimately, that might be the biggest fight of our lifetimes. I mean, It's a very short list. It would be Mayweather-Pacquiao. It would be Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, which is scheduled to happen later this summer. It would be probably like McGregor Diaz 2 was a giant fight that happened back when we were in college. And then it would be Jones versus Ngannou. In our lifetime, those are the three, or those would be the biggest fights of our lifetime, both boxing and mixed martial arts. Yeah. And so it is on a very short list of fights that the rest of the sports world would have to schedule around that, right? Oftentimes for like sports like mixed martial, I mean, they put them on at like midnight because typically there's no games going on at that time, right? Whenever Wilder and Fury fought last year, they did it right. They did it after the Super Bowl. Baseball wasn't playing yet. Basketball was, ho-hum. I think it was All-Star break weekend, maybe. I'm not sure. But, like, the rest of the sports world will tune in for this, right?
Yeah.
It will be a week dominated by Ngannou versus Jones, and I'm absolutely all here for it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely down for it. Hopefully they get the time set. I think they mentioned July
or August, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe International Fight Week in July, but I don't know. Ngannou said August earlier today, and he's the champ, so he does get a little bit of say in this.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for that one. Briefly, I don't have a lot of thoughts, but I just do want to say, like, the Max Holloway, or not Max Holloway. Why was I saying Holloway? The Sean O'Malley fight.
Sugar Sean.
Saturday. I mean, that dude's captivating. I don't know how else to put it. He's growing on that list of fighters you have to tune into.
Yeah, he is box office.
He has said, like, which him being like the third fight on that card was a wonderful, like, surprise.
Yeah.
Kind of a shot, I thought. 'Cause, like, he's much more deserving of a 3 slot. But I just, like, you see like all these fighters that have come up and they've, like, Adesanya the last couple of years, he's exploded. Ngannou's taking it, what you just talked about. He's becoming a superstar. O'Malley's in that same group, and he's must-see. You got to check in. And his fight Saturday was the one I was most looking forward to.
Yep.
And it was the first one I tuned into. And, like, I mean, he rocked that dude's world.
In the first.
Let him back up, and he said on the Pat McAfee show, he said he let him up because he wanted to knock him out with his right hand.
Yeah.
Don't know why the ref let him up. I don't think anybody in the arena thought that fight should have gone on. Then again in the second, it was the second or third, whatever.
The third is when it finished. Third was when it finished.
The octagon was very slick. I don't know why. They were falling a lot. I know that both of them went for a kick at one point. Both of them ate shit. It was hilarious. He then drops the dude again, and starts walking away a second time, and the ref just like doesn't chime in. And what was the guy's name? Almeida.
Thomas Almeida, yeah.
Yeah, he's out. Okay, dude's on a different planet. He might be in a different galaxy. And they were just like, "Oh, dude, fight's not over." And like, I feel bad for O'Malley because he had what he had to do. I feel bad for Almeida because what he had to endure. I mean, they just let O'Malley come in and just hammer fist the back of this dude's head into the ground because they didn't.
It was a bad one. It was a bad one.
Like, I don't know. Like, it was tough.
And typically when these guys, like Ngannou's hammer fist on Miocic, he comes down like this, hits with this like right here onto the jaw, right? Sugar Sean connects with this right here.
Yeah, and like in the post fight, he's like, yeah, he's a tough dude. Like, I would hope so. You damn near knocked him out 14 times in like 8 minutes. I mean,
dude,
shit.
Like, that single punch may have taken months, maybe years off of his life, because it's not like he was knocked out staring at the lights, right? I mean, the guy was knocked out. He could move around. He wasn't like rigid, right? So he's like kind of moving around, which is why the ref didn't stop it. But he did not even register this punch was coming.
He just laid there and took it. Like, oh my! That's the scary part about it.
He didn't even make an attempt to defend it. He just boom, and like even the commentators was like, yeah, maybe we should have stopped this one. Like
a while ago.
Oh my God, like that was bad. And like Sugar, he was just like, yeah, I felt bad, I had to do it, but blame that guy pointing at the ref. Like,
I will say that like I'm torn with Sugar Sean because he keeps saying like I'm undefeated, and like I get his argument of like I fought that fight hurt, but like you got hurt in the fight from a kick, so technically, yeah, that is the reason you lost. Therefore, it is a loss. It's not like it was like. Because I've seen guys who've stepped back and then they get hurt and then they give up the fight or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he even said his toe caught my shin or my ankle, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I couldn't really put any weight on it. It threw me off. Yeah. Well, then
that's legitimate.
Yeah. Then you lost the fight. I like the guy. I respect the guy, and I kind of get what he's trying to say, but like, no, I think he's just wrong. I think you do have a loss, but it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's like. The thing is like, what's the difference between a guy throwing a kick and injuring your leg versus you throwing a punch and damaging some guy's brain? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's like you're trying to injure the other guy for all intents and purposes. The guy did it to you first. You lost the fight. Yeah, I mean, that's an L.
Even though he didn't mean to, like he said that he was going for the calf kick and he missed and his toe caught him, but like, it's still technically his attempt did what it was supposed to do. Disabled. So
yeah, and see, thankfully, like mixed martial arts isn't predicated by the 0 in your win-loss record, right? Boxing has a really bad, like Floyd Mayweather did a real disservice to boxing by making the 0 very important. You see these guys who come through the ranks now fighting for world titles with like 34-0 records, and you've never heard of the people, right? But thankfully, it's like you can still lose in mixed martial arts and still be a giant star. We've seen it with McGregor after the first Diaz loss. He goes back, beats Diaz, and then becomes a double champ, and then the rest is history, right? We've seen it with Sugar Sean. Sugar Sean loses to Chito Vera, comes out. Dude's as big of a star now as maybe anyone in the UFC, right? We've seen Masvidal. Masvidal's got like 13 losses on his record. One of the biggest box office draws in the UFC. Nate Diaz just lost to Masvidal a year and a half ago at the Garden. He's co-maining a pay-per-view in June with Leon Edwards, and that's going to be a 5-round non-title, non-main event. I mean, these guys, you can be stars and lose in this sport. It's just a matter of how you present yourself, how you market yourself. And Sugar Sean, he not only has the talent, but he's got the sound bite, and he's going to be a legitimate problem at 135 for however long he wants to be.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're done with UFC. I don't know if there's any other fights you want to talk about, but
Well, there is
no
one
loss.
more I want to, but I'll let you go.
I was just gonna say, well, because that one loss, like the no losses versus whatever, that kind of ties into like the Gonzaga argument we've had. Like, would you rather a team go, excuse me, like 35-0 against nobody, or you can look at that at any sport, like, or a college prospect, whatever. Like, would you rather them be undefeated and play nobody, or would you rather them go 12-2 in the college football season with like a 3-point loss to Alabama in the title game? Well, I'd rather take that than take, fucking.
So table this thought. There is one more fight I want to talk about because this is so fucking ludicrous. If I didn't talk about it, I'd be pissed off at myself. Tyron Woodley, Vicente Luque, co-main event Saturday night. Luque knocks out Woodley. Woodley, prior to this fight, had lost 15 straight rounds, none of them close. Half of them were 10-8 rounds, right? The dude, since his last title defense against Darren Till, has looked like dog shit. Lost 50-42 on my card to Kamaru Usman to lose the title. Then he loses to Colby Covington, gets absolutely destroyed. Loses to Gilbert Burns, again, 50-42 or whatever. So he comes out against Luque. And if he loses this fight, he's likely getting cut, right? So he comes out, and he comes out pretty aggressive. Gets him up against the fence, starts striking a little bit. To make a long story short, he gets knocked out in the first round. And he gets knocked out pretty decisively. So his UFC career, likely done. One of the greatest UFC welterweight champions ever. His career's done. Now, this is what pisses me off. Oscar De La Hoya is coming back to boxing. 48-year-old Oscar De La Hoya hasn't fought since like 2008. Oscar De La Hoya. Guess who his first opponent is rumored to be? Tyron Woodley. What the fuck are we doing? One, if you've watched any of our previous shows, you know how much I hate the boxer versus MMA guy in boxing argument. Hate it with a passion. You're telling me Tyron Woodley, who couldn't buy a win for the last 2.5 years, is going to beat a former 6th division world champion? You're telling me, despite the fact Oscar De La Hoya, who is probably broke as hell, and that's the reason why he's got to come back to boxing, you're telling me he's going to box 48-year Oscar De La Hoya and win a round?
Yeah, I think he knocks him out 30 seconds in.
Absolute garbage. Woodley, you've had a great career. I do not, and I cannot emphasize this enough, I do not want to see you in a boxing ring, and I especially don't want to see you in the ring against De La Hoya. And De La Hoya, while I'm talking about it, I don't want to see you in the boxing ring either.
You're not wrong.
Fucking Jesus. Anderson Silva, he's coming back to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., okay? That's a mouthful. Don't say it 5 times fast. You're telling me Chavez isn't going to knock out Anderson Silva, who couldn't buy a round in the last decade? Dude hasn't been the same since he broke his leg. And he's going to go box a former boxing world champion? Garbage. Absolute trash. I have so much disdain for this that I could spend a whole show ranting about it, but we got other shit we got to talk about today. More happy stuff to talk about. So before we get into baseball, we're going to talk NCAA. Do you want to start with Indiana, or do you want to start with the tournament?
I'll start with IU and make it somewhat quick. So
let's do it.
They were rumored to have had all this money to spend on their new head coach because they bought out Archie Miller for $10 million, which is fine. I think they hired Mike Woodson, who bounced around the NBA for a little bit as a head coach with I think it was the Knicks and the Hawks. He's been with the Knicks as an assistant. They wanted a Bobby Knight guy. They got one. Technically, he played for Bobby in I think it was late 70s, from 76 to 80. Definitely a Hoosier legend. Big part of why they wanted him. I think it's going to help them probably with getting big names in there. And he's been a head coach for several NBA All-Stars. He's been around like Allen Iverson. mean, the Knicks they've had guys in and out of the building. And he was okay with the Knicks when he first got there. And then things kind of fell off. The only thing I don't really like about his hire is that, one, I don't feel like it fit their budget. They could have went way higher. I mean, we just saw Marquette blow a bag on Shaka Smart. And you're saying you're spending $3 million a year on Mike Woodson when your program's in complete disarray right now.
Yep.
I mean, it's like the
6-year deal too. 6-year deal.
6, which means the buyout's probably going to – buyout for him might not be too bad, which is kind of a good thing, which is a dumb thing to prepare for this early. But, like, IU basketball is now, like, not a top 5 program at their school. Their men's soccer team's top 5 in the country. Women's basketball Elite 8. Damn near went to the Final Four. The football team is probably going to end the season as a top 25 program, which is never going to happen again. And then their basketball team just fallen off a mountain. But I don't like the Woodson hire because I think they pulled the trigger too early. They lost out on Brad Stevens and said, fuck it, we're taking whoever we can. They were too concerned about getting a Bobby Knight guy when they could have just got Dane Fife, who coached under Bobby, played under Bobby, and he's now at Michigan State. They could have went and got a guy like Chris Beard from Texas Tech. They could have maybe tried to get Scott Drew from Baylor, but his price tag probably would have been insane. Same with Oates out of I think he's head coach at Alabama, just got extended, but they could still buy him out. But then the problem, he's the first coach that he reaches out to as his assistant. Did you see who it was?
Yeah, I did.
Larry Brown.
Yeah, 90 years old.
Larry Brown, who coached at like SMU a decade ago.
Yep.
Like, okay. And then they go and get Thad Matta to be the AD, but with basketball specialty. Yeah, he's gonna be the basketball throw a bag at a recruit guy. You're telling me you fire Kelvin Sampson because of allegations. You don't like Tom Crean. You get a coach in there who can't recruit, and then you're like, oh, we want a guy who's gonna run the program well. You get a 63-year-old with no college coaching experience. I don't know how he's gonna recruit. And then you hire an 80-year-old who's, I'm pretty sure, is known for blowing big old bags to try to get guys into his program. And then Thad Matta, who I believe was also in that same boat. I mean, the Matta, I don't know how to say it. His hiring is the one that I like the most. One, it's cheap, but two, it's just an advisory type thing. I don't know how the rest of the staff's going to fill out. They've got, I mean, the last 3 years, they've had like the last 2 years coming in prior to this year, they had 2 recruiting classes, 7 guys total. 2 of their top 3 guys are in the transfer portal. One of them's Chase Jackson Davis is the third. He might be leaving. He might be coming back. We don't know. Armand Franklin entered the portal. He was their best scorer this season. And then 17-year-old freshman Christian Lander's already in the portal. If they can bring those guys back, they might be in a good spot. But, I mean, use your top 3 recruits, you're in a very bad spot with no seniors. The recruiting board for next year, they have 1 guy committed, nobody else on the table. Well, you're not going to get much better that way either. They have a transfer coming in from, I think it was Middle Tennessee State. Okay, 3-star guy, big deal. You look ahead to 2022, they've got 9 5-stars that are listed as on their tail. There's no way they get a single guy. They haven't pulled a big name out of state in a while, and the one that they're looking at right now that's in state, Jalen Washington out of South Bend, I mean, he's getting offers from every program in the country, including Purdue. I wouldn't be surprised if Purdue lands a big old 5-star before Indiana does. But we'll see. I don't have very high expectations, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, neither school does a really good job of recruiting in state. Yeah. I mean, I feel like most of the big name talent in Indiana goes out of state.
A lot of them go to Kentucky. A lot of them go Michigan State.
Kentucky, Louisville, or back when Louisville was good, not so much anymore, but Kentucky,
Yeah.
Louisville, Michigan
And,
State,
like,
Ohio State now.
the same things with like Minnesota. They have all these big recruits the last few years, and none of them are staying in the state. I mean, we have Master P's kids are going to LSU, I think. You have Jalen Suggs just left to go to Gonzaga, which that's a little bit different. It's Gonzaga over Minnesota. I'm taking that every day of the week. But you have like Chet Holmgren. He's not staying in Minnesota. There's no way. And like with IU, if you guys saw my Twitter, you know I hate their offense, right? They put up like 40 points a game in the Big Ten.
Yep.
Shoot like 23% from three, which is like, there's like 7-year-olds who shoot at a better rate. I don't know, figure that out. And Woodson said, "Oh, we need to get guys who can shoot." Yeah, no shit, dude. I could have told you that. A guy who's never watched basketball could say, "Yeah, you need guys that can shoot the basketball." That's the goddamn point. So he's not wrong. But then you look at his pedigree. What do his teams do? Slow, not very exciting offense with a tough defense. That's what Archie Miller was, and it didn't work whatsoever.
Yeah.
You're just
and really,
in a cycle.
If you think about the tournament so far, this is kind of a good lead into what we're going to discuss next. If you're going to win in college basketball nowadays, you have to score. Okay,
Yeah.
Look at Gonzaga. They average 92 points a game. Okay, you look at UCLA, who just knocked off 1-seed Michigan. Yes, they held Michigan to 23 points over the first half, but how much did they score in the win? It's like what? That may not be a good example. I think it was like
it wasn't high. It was like 60s.
But they put up
88 in the first round. They put up quite a bit on Bama. Like you gotta score.
Yeah, they've been running the score. Houston, to their credit, has been probably the most defensive team of all the top seeds in the tournament. Like, granted, yes, I mean, Gonzaga's got a good defense, but you're not looking at them as a defensive team. You're looking at them as that high-powered offense. They'll let you get a basket, but they're going to run down and score two of their own. Houston has been the team in the tournament that has, knuckled down, slapped the floor. We're going to play hard defense. Houston's in the Final Four, and they're averaging like 80 in this tournament. Okay, they just got pushed by Oregon State, and they had to. I mean, Houston. They gave up like 70, 66, 70, something like that. They had to score in the 80 range to win it.
Yeah, Baylor, and that game was close, and it was tied there for a while too. Like
and like I said, Baylor, another high-powered offense. So if you look at the four teams in the Final Four, Gonzaga, UCLA, Houston, Baylor. What does all four have in common? They can put up points.
Yeah,
and so
you shouldn't take away from like Gonzaga, like. Yeah, and their defense, when they need to be good, they will legit lock you down. We saw it. I mean, with who was before
BYU?
USC? Creighton.
Oh yeah.
They have Creighton. I mean, that game's going back and forth for the first 15 minutes, maybe.
Yep.
It's like, damn, these teams are going to put up 90 apiece. Then Creighton just can't get a bucket. I mean, it goes from being like a 5-point game. Next thing you know, it's like 80 to 53.
Yep.
Well, you can't stop anybody on that offense.
Yep.
And then
and that's another
picks up. They're unstoppable.
And it's like in the game yesterday against the USC, you have said it on the podcast. You thought that was going to be Gonzaga's toughest game of the tournament against USC. What does Gonzaga do? They didn't rely on threes. They didn't rely on outside jumpers. They just powered their way to the rim, and they scored 60 points in the paint.
Yeah, and that's been like they've been scoring in the paint, and you like, oh, you're gonna shut that down. You're gonna just put an extra body on Timmy. Oh, okay. We'll just get Kispert and Ayayi. Let them just chuck it because they're not missing. And I can't remember Nembard. Is that his name?
Yep.
I'm make sure I'm saying it right. That dude doesn't miss. Like
Jalen Suggs.
Jalen Suggs gets to the cup better than anybody in the country when he wants to.
Yep.
I mean, you look. The two freshmen this year, the two big ones were Jalen Suggs and Cade Cunningham. Both of them had so many clutch moments that you do not expect out of a 19-year-old. And that all that tells you is, they're ready for the NBA. I don't care that they
have 1 year and Gonzaga doesn't produce one and dones. Dude, Jalen Suggs is going to be a star. He's going to ball out. Gonzaga, I'm ready to say it, best college team I've seen in my lifetime. They would have smacked that 2013 to 2016 Kentucky teams, beat the shit out of them. Don't even have a second thought. And I thought USC had a chance to pull it off. I didn't think they were going to, but they had I wouldn't have been blown away.
Yep.
Bro, they couldn't even cover. It was a 20-point game at halftime. Creighton couldn't cover. They've covered double-digit spread and then an 8.5-point spread against USC all tournament. No other team in the country is doing that. No other one seed. Baylor's been put in some tough fights. They've been kind of comfortably winning at the end, but Houston's been put to the wire. UCLA's been in the cut in every game, but they're the 11th, so you don't really expect them to blow anybody out. Gonzaga they're a tank, dude. You can't. There's no good way to beat them. You have to get lucky.
And we said this last week on the podcast. Gonzaga is a lot like how Alabama football was this year. They just have so many weapons and can beat you so many ways. And so if you're going to beat them, for Gonzaga basketball, you're going to have to score legitimately 90 points to feel good about your chances of winning. You're not going to beat Gonzaga putting up 70.
Yeah, and when they're starting a game on a 16-3 run, they've got 15 points in the first 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, yep.
They're on pace to score 160 every single game, and then they just they start missing shots. But dude, they're so good at just getting out to the hot start and just dominating from the jump.
And again, they don't rely on the outside jumpers to do it. They just smash it down your throat. They get to the basket. They wear down your big men. That not only does that put points on the board, that just degrades your confidence. It's like when you got Drew Timme getting offensive rebounds and just doing baby hooks in the paint, and he's putting 80% of them in. You're just like, what am I supposed to do?
There's no shot. And then you got dumbasses Michigan's making a run. They're going to beat them. Yeah. Even if they beat UCLA, I think UCLA has a better shot than Michigan did. Michigan would have got Hunter Dickinson probably makes it a little tougher on Timme. Dude, doesn't matter. Michigan put up 23 in the first half. Gonzaga's putting that up in 6 minutes. Don't worry about it. Dude, best team in the country by a mile. Best team in college basketball probably since. Yeah,
I think the formula to beat Gonzaga, you're going to need a team that plays a high-tempo offense. So you're going to need a team that can wear down can wear down the gas tank. You're going to need a team that can shoot threes effectively. And you're going to need a team that can get Gonzaga into foul trouble. We've seen them get into some foul trouble this year against Kansas. We've seen them we've seen them give up threes this year to teams like West Virginia. But if you're going to play a style where, if you're looking for a 57-53 kind of game, you're losing by 30.
Yeah. And that just shows Mark Few, best college coach in the country. I don't think that's even a debate anymore. This is if you look at it this way, this is the first time he's had a big recruit, a big time 5-star freshman recruit coming in and making an immediate impact. And his team is unstoppable. Imagine if Gonzaga had that recognition over the past 10 years, or that that ability to recruit. They wouldn't fall apart. They're running a 7-man rotation and pumping out with W's. Just onslaughts of 30-point games. Creighton, all those poor guys, they thought they had a shot. They're hitting threes early. They're fighting back and forth. It's 18-17, 20-19. They're keeping it close. Third, and they lose by 25.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what to say other than Gonzaga's the best team in the country ever. I would say the best basketball team in history because I don't know what else to say. I can't compare them to a team from the 60s, but damn.
No, and there's been some talk on Twitter and stuff since the weekend, they look so fresh now because they played in a weak conference. They haven't played a ranked opponent since week 8. It's but their non-conference schedule is one of the toughest in the country. And the reason why they're playing so well now is because they had that experience at the very beginning. Okay?
Yeah.
You don't play a cupcake schedule the entire year, make it to the tournament, and cover all these spreads. You know a team that was like that? Wichita State back a decade ago. They lost in the second round to 9-seed Kentucky. Okay?
Yeah.
Why? Because they didn't play anybody. They legitimately didn't play anybody in conference, and they didn't play anybody out of conference. Gonzaga, they scheduled literally every top team in the country their first 3 weeks of the season, beat them all by double digits except for West Virginia. And now they're in the tournament, and it's like, okay.
They're not getting tested. They know what it takes to beat anybody in the country now, and they've perfected the formula. It's insane.
So to recap, if you go back to our Final Four predictions from a couple weeks ago, I had Ohio State in the title game. Ohio State loses first round to Oral Roberts. I had Alabama. Alabama loses in the Sweet 16 to
UCLA.
UCLA, that's right. Thank you. I got the other two right. I had Houston coming out of the Illinois bracket, and I had Gonzaga. Nothing has changed my mind. Gonzaga is finishing as an undefeated champion. I have Gonzaga over UCLA. I have Houston over Baylor. Give me Gonzaga over Houston in the finals.
I got Gonzaga easily. I don't know who I don't even care who wins the Baylor-Houston game. That's going to be a good game, and I think both teams. I don't want to pick because usually you watch a game, like, I'm going to pick somebody. I'm probably going to lean towards Houston, but I don't have any ties to it. I just want it to be a good game because that's going to be the real game of the tournament, I think.
Yeah, and imagine how cool would it be to have two mid-major schools for the or for the national championship. That's a pretty cool pretty cool deal. So
imagine all those bastards who picked like Michigan State to make a run because it's Izzo and March, like I did. I had them going to the Sweet 16, and then UCLA beats them, but that still counts because that was the 11-seed playing game, and UCLA just runs through and covers it, and they get to the Final Four. It's like, well, damn, technically I was right. I picked them to run. Damn, I'd be so mad if that's how I lost a bracket, but I'm not in the I'm out of every bracket, dude. I got my slapped. But what's that? Saturday's the Final Four. Monday night
Monday's
tip game.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean, that title game is going to be fun, but I don't think it's going to be a contest.
So now, what you guys have been waiting for. If you clicked on the video, this is what you came here for. It is time to get into our baseball predictions. So, we have multiple categories for what we're going to cover. So, like I said, opening day is tomorrow. We're going to discuss Cy Young winner, MVP, Rookie of the Year. We're going to make our playoff predictions. I think you have a scenario for a 5 and a 16 playoff. I just have a 5. We're going to do each of the triple crown category winners offensively. I didn't do any for pitching. If you did, that's cool. And then I've got some sleeper picks that might make deep runs or get into the playoffs at least this year. So.
So I do want to say before I even make these picks about Major League Baseball, if you guys have a chance to ever, I don't know if I talked about this last week. If you get the chance to watch Vanderbilt this year and want to watch Jack Leiter, good God, dude, he's played. I believe right now he's still 2 games in his college career against SEC opponents. 16 innings, 26 strikeouts, 0 hits. He threw a 9-inning no-hitter. And then the last game, I think they were playing Missouri maybe. They're up 11-0 and going into the top of the 8th. They hit a line drive. Dude makes a diving catch in left. Vanderbilt's getting ready to come back out. He's going to come back out to finish what should be a no-hitter. Comes out for his warm-up pitches, I believe. And then they're just like, we're going to challenge that. We want that extra base runner when we're up 11-0. And we're throwing a no-hitter. Well, it throws off his rhythm, right?
Yeah.
Then he's like, well, we're not going to get the warm-up tosses. So they just pull him out of the game. Doesn't get a chance to finish it. But still, dude's incredible. He's going to go number one, I would assume.
Now,
I don't see anybody else in the world that could top him. But
now, you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for him to get drafted, spend the rest of the year in the minors, and then spend the first 36 days in the minors next year. Why 36 days? Oh, that's because then the team who drafted him, can get it for cheap for another year.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I'll get into that with one of my picks here in a little bit. But yeah, service time manipulation's a joke. The Cubs have done it again this year. They sent down Nico Horner, which the problem with service time this year, you're sending guys down for X amount of days, but there's no minor league baseball until May, so they're not getting their reps anyway. And the Cubs, every team's going to spin it. Oh, we just think they need to develop a little bit, get some extra at-bats in. Well, they can't. And secondly, Horner was like the starting second baseman all last season. Oh, damn, now that service time's well, let's send him down a little bit. We'd rather run with Eric Sogard starting at second base. No thanks. Marlins are doing it. I know they're sending down Sixto Sanchez.
Yep.
Mariners
are doing it with Kelenic.
Yeah. Like, it pisses me off. The Marlins have a day off, day 4 and day 9 of the season. What they're doing with that is, we're running a 4-man pitching rotation for the first month of the season because we'll be able to schedule out rest how we need to. Well, Sixto Sanchez, who's supposed to be your number 5 starter, guess what? Now you can put him back in the minor leagues, and damn, he doesn't fit our rotation to start this season because of our scheduling. It's service time, and then he'll be back up as soon as his time's up. I can't wait to see the call-ups on May, whatever the fuck.
Now, before we get into our picks here, there's no way they play a season next year, right? I mean, there is going to be a holdout.
I have no idea. I mean, I'd assume it's trending that way, but
I'm about to say the CBA ends this offseason. Between last year, all the shitty comments Manfred made about the commissioner's trophy, and then between the owners being greedy and not wanting to pay players, and between the service time and all that shit, like I don't see how there's any way a CBA gets done peacefully.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
Like if last year, like a lot of people said, well, like they may not play a season this year. Like, that will kill baseball. It's like, okay, I don't know what the ratings were last year. I didn't really care enough to look them up. But if that didn't kill baseball, having a CBA dispute and a lockout and all that shit, that will.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone talks about what happened in '94. There was a lockout a few years. Well, actually, no, there wasn't a lockout for the MLB a few years ago with the CBA. I'm thinking of the NBA. But, like, no one wants to watch a bunch of rich people bitch about money, right? But I fall squarely on the player's side on this, right? Because it's like they're getting fucked over pretty badly.
Yeah, especially when you look at, like, minor leaguers who get nothing.
Yeah, and I really would not be surprised to see major leaguers dip into their own salaries to pay minor leaguers just so that what they get out of the CBA is more important. You know, like I said, I think we might be trending towards like replacement players, or whatever. Baseball is in a very, very bad spot right now.
They're in a risky situation, which they put it on themselves. Nobody likes Rob Manfred.
No, garbage individual. Garbage.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
what
know.
he said about the World Series trophy last year is appalling, and it should have got him removed.
What did he say?
Well, he said, the trophy, it's just a piece of metal. It's like you have hundreds of players in your league who are away from their families for 6 months of the year, or away from their hometowns. They're with their families. But it's like they're on the road, multiple days a week. They devote their lives for that piece of metal, right? That's the only that. I mean, what else? What the hell are you playing for if it's not for that piece of metal, you jackass? Okay, so any kind of credibility Manfred has, he could take it and shove it up his ass. I don't want to hear anything about him, or at least nothing positive about him. Dude is trash. He's a puppet. The sooner we can get him out of baseball, the better. So
yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. So let's you want to start with the playoffs, or you want to get into the individual stuff?
Let's do the individuals. That'll lead us into the playoffs.
Okay, let's do it. So which category you want to start with first?
All right, I'm gonna do Cy Young first. That's just how I have it written out.
All right,
we'll go back and forth AL and then NL with each pick. But I talked about you. I talked about this with you the other day. Like, the American League is so much harder to pick who's going to win anything. Not because, like, there's a lot of guys competing or, there's nobody good. It's like the NL, like, has its superstars, I think, across the board. The American League has so many guys who are close to that level.
Yep.
And it's hard to, like, narrow it down to one guy because you don't have a Degrom. You don't have, like, you have a Mike Trout, so that's a bad example. But there's so many guys in the American League that are just not shoo-ins for anything.
Sure.
And with Cy Young, I don't want to go Garrett Cole. I feel like it's a risky pick because we saw it last year.
Yep.
Chris Sale coming off an injury, don't trust it. There's two guys that I'm picking. I don't know which one I'm going to end with. Lucas Giolito with Chicago and Tyler Glasnow with the Rays.
Okay.
It's tough. I think I'm going to lean Giolito because I think the White Sox have a better chance of making some noise this season, which, spoiler alert, I have them doing some stuff. But Giolito's my pick. Don't know why. Threw a no-hitter last year. Ride that momentum. Dude can be very good. He can be nasty. Same with Glasnow. And it's tough, but I'm going to go with him just on a whim.
Yeah, so I agree with you. So I mean, it's really tough to choose anyone out of the AL East, right? Because the AL East, if you're going to choose Garrett Cole, right, that means you're still going to be playing a stellar Tampa Bay offense, a Toronto offense who is young but is getting better, by the season. And if you're going to pick Ryu, Ryu's going to play the Yankees. They're going to play Tampa. Boston with Alex Cora back, as much as I hate that, they still got Bogarts. They still got some talent on that. They still got J.D. Martinez, I believe. So there's plenty of opportunities for your ERA to go up. It'll be hard to accumulate wins in the AL East, especially while playing in like Fenway, Yankee Stadium. So hard to keep it low ERA, hard to get wins. So for that reason alone, I couldn't pick Garrett Cole, I couldn't pick Ryu, and I could not pick Glasnow. And then Chris Sale, I think he is nowhere near Cy Young anymore. I think that time has passed. And then the Orioles, who are you picking? John Means? No, there's no one on the Orioles. So that leads me to the other two divisions. This one could be very interesting. So I am going to go Lucas Giolito as well. The White Sox, they just have a very potent offense this year. Jose Abreu has led the AL in RBIs the last 2 years. Tim Anderson has gotten better. The White Sox, like you said, they're going to do damage this year, and they're going to be led by Giolito and company. Giolito, I mean, they're going to be playing teams like the Twins. They're going to be playing the Indians. They're going to be playing the Royals. I think I see it's like last year where I said your Cy Young is going to come out of the AL Central. Maybe I didn't say that. Maybe I said Garrett Cole. I don't know who I predicted last year. Anyway, it's got to come out of the Central this year. It's not going to be Shane Bieber. It's going to be Lucas Giolito. Give me that.
Yeah, looks like we're on the same page. We're off to a good start. At least we both are going to be really stupid at the end of the year when he has like an 8-something ERA.
Yeah.
And doesn't pan out for some reason. I'm going to jump Rookie of the Year. Actually, I got to go NL. What am I doing? Never mind. Scat. Rookie of the Year's next. National League Cy Young. Listen, it's Degrom, okay? We all know it's Degrom. But I did say last week that my official pick is going to be Marcus Stroman just for the hell of it. So Marcus Stroman it is. He did say he's going to be on another level this year because the Mets brought back the black jerseys. And I do think he has looked very good in the spring. I don't know if he's going to be Cy Young level good, but you know what? Let's have some fun with it.
So I agree with you. I have DeGrom winning this as well. DeGrom is the best pitcher on the planet, bar none. Bar none. I mean, the guy is he plays for a dog shit offense essentially in New York. The offense,
though, maybe.
Yeah, I was about to say the offense did get better. So, I mean, there's a chance he does get more wins. His ERA the last 3 years has been otherworldly. I think his combined ERA the last 3 years is like 2.3 or something like that. Dude is fantastic on the mound. I think as long as he keeps a sub 2.4, sub 2.5 ERA, he's going to get enough wins to where he's going to be a shoo-in for this award at the end of the year. I know what you're probably thinking. Well, the LA, San Diego, they got a bunch of awesome pitchers. It's like, yeah, that's fine. It's still Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah, like I did pick against him technically, but I will never actually pick against Jacob DeGrom to win it until I've seen his day.
Yeah, I know he lost last year. I know Bauer won it. Let's be real. DeGrom should have won it. I mean, there was a little voter fatigue because he would have won 3 straight. I mean, it's the reason why Mike Trout doesn't win every year, right? So, DeGrom, he should have won last year. You can debate me if you want. DeGrom is winning this year, and it's not even going to be close. There is going to be a real argument to be made for him to win MVP.
So I think there's an argument to be made for them to change the name of the award. That's that's how dominant he's been, and I think he's legit got a case because I mean he's been the best pitcher in baseball now for quite some time.
His Hall of Fame case is going to be really interesting if his career continues the same trajectory that it's been on. The guy has won 2 Cy Young awards, should have won 3, and in that amount of time hasn't played a single playoff game.
Yeah.
Okay. And we know how much that they value that kind of shit whenever they're voting for Hall of Fame. But it's like this guy, his GPA
who
is
only has
amazing.
Control 1 out of 5 days.
Yeah.
And even then, he only has half the control. I mean, he has lost a lot of games 1-0, 2-1.
Exactly. Exactly. Like there's been a lot of games where he pitches 7 1/3, gives up 1 run, gives up 2 runs or something like that, and then the Mets just can't score enough to get him over the hump. Like if your starting pitcher goes out there and gives you 7 2/3 2-run innings, you're taking that every day of the week, twice on Sunday. But DeGrom has lost so many of those games, so his Hall of Fame case is going to be really interesting should his career continue the same trajectory. So. Let's move Rookie of the Year. AL, who do you got?
Okay, another one. I have 2 picks here because simply because of I don't know how it's going to work with Bobby Witt Jr. He's going to be another service time guy. I don't know when he's going to get called up. If he qualifies, I think he gets it. I think he's going to have a big year. Dude's like 20 years old and smacked a damn near 500-foot homer in spring. But if they fuck him over and don't give him the playing time, I'm gonna go Alex Kirilloff. I can't say his name. With the Twins outfielder. No reason. I just thought he had a good last season, so that's my pick.
So I brought his name up earlier in the show. I think AL Rookie of the Year, Jarred Kelenic out of the Mariners. The Mariners are a terrible team. Okay, so Kelenic would be one of the best players on that team right now if he was starting opening day. He's definitely going to be one of the better hitters on that team once he arrives. He's going to get plenty of playing time. He's going to get a lot of opportunities. He might hit 20 homers this year, and I think 20 homers is going to be enough to win that award. Kelenic, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem for a lot of pitchers. He might be batting like 5th or 6th by the end of the year. But either way, he's going to get plenty of opportunities. I got Kelenic winning that award.
if he wins, would they have back-to-back? Did Kyle Lewis win it last year?
That I'm not entirely sure of, but that's a good point.
I think he did. I know he was in it. Kyle Lewis is a baller. Those two are going to be a good duo.
And really, the only reason Kelenic didn't play last year, I believe, is because he refused to sign a long-term contract extension. Because as soon as he signs that extension, it doesn't matter about service time anymore, right? Because the team's already paying that amount of money out.
Right.
So
yeah, Kyle Lewis won last year, so go back-to-back.
It'd be nice. It would be nice. NL, who's your rookie of the year?
Cabrian Hayes. Pittsburgh Pirates. He was offered an extension, I believe, a couple weeks ago, and he turned it down. But he should be the starting third baseman for them. I wouldn't see any reason why not. Dude's going to be a star. Pirates need it. They have not had a draft pick pan out in so long, it feels like. But I like Hayes. I don't like the rest of the NL competition necessarily, and I think a guy who can hit for power and can at least be an exciting piece for a young team that's not been good in 20 years. Yeah, I feel like he's got everything's in his favor.
I feel you. I'm going to go Sixto Sanchez with the Marlins. I think, especially being a right-handed pitcher down there in Miami. Miami surprised a lot of teams last year. They kind of overachieved. I don't see them having exactly the same kind of success this year. But with Sanchez, should he get up in May? I mean, if he can go like 8-3, something like that, with like a 3 ERA, I think that'll be good enough to win that award. He's got some talent. He can throw. I think he throws like 4 pitches, so he can mix it up. Give me Sanchez to win that award.
Hell yeah! I don't hate that pick at all. I would have considered him, but
yep.
It's the same thing with Bobby Witt. You just don't know when he's going to get called up, and it sucks. I hate it. I hate baseball so much. MVP.
Okay.
Who you got out of the AL?
AL. I think this is the year he finally wins it. DJ LeMahieu. If you've been looking at his career, I mean, dude should have been a finalist the last couple of years. Ever since he got to New York, dude's been just lacing the ball all over the field. He won the AL batting title last year, batted .364. I really think he's going to keep that up over the stretch of the season. I think he bats for over 350. I think he goes 350 about, I would say he's somewhere in the ballpark of 23 to 28 homers. And I think his RBI, I don't think he hits triple digits, but I think he's going to get somewhere in like the 85 to 95 area. But I think, I mean, granted, while, you know, the RBI and the homers isn't MVP, I mean, I think having a plus 350 batting average will be. And the guy is solid defensively. He's been the MVP of the Yankees undisputedly for the last 2 years. And if the Yankees have a 100-win season, I mean, granted, you could give it to Trout any year, but I think, again, people are just they have fatigue on voting for him, and so I think LeMahieu being a fresh face, no Yankee has won that award since I think A-Rod won it fucking years and years ago. Judge finished second a few years ago to Altuve, but I think LeMahieu he's going to stay healthy long enough to get that award. You can give it to like 4 different guys on the Yankees if they stay healthy. But the problem is we've seen that Stanton and Judge together can't play a full season. Yeah. Gary Sanchez, great power numbers and everything, but the dude is terrible defensively. Gio Urshela, I mean, the guy is a very solid ball player. I don't think he's MVP level, though. Mike Trout, like I said, dude could put up good numbers. I mean, he could be a shoo-in candidate really any year that you want him to. It's just he's never finished below 5th, but there's always a new flavor, right? Yeah. So Trout, very, very good pick if you want to take him. Tim Anderson, if you want to, very good pick as well. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's definitely a lot of talent. I just I think this is the year LeMahieu wins it.
It's funny you say that because I went Trout is the pick.
Yep.
If he suffers from voter fatigue, I've got Tim Anderson.
Okay.
I know Trout was like pissed about his season last year. He was like, "Oh, I just wasn't myself at the plate." Dude put up like astronomical numbers, but for him it was like slightly down. Yeah, if he has motivation, dude's winning every major category. He's pulling MVP. But it's going to take something like that because I think he's just been so dominant that people just like forget how relevant. Like a big part of like most valuable player, right? You take him off the Angels, they're not good, and they're already not good with them. But he makes them at least watchable, somewhat relevant for like part of the season until they flame out a little bit. But like,
now
no reason
I'll tell you what,
league and there's no reason the guy couldn't win Triple Crown.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you what, here's another thing to think about. A sleeper pick for MVP that neither one of us has discussed, Shohei Ohtani for the Angels. I mean, if the guy goes out there and has a 10-win season and also puts up 30 home runs, I mean, we've seen him beat out 2 Yankees for Rookie of the Year in a year where he shouldn't have won. He should have went to Urshela that year. You're telling me he puts up a 10-win season and 30 home runs, he's not winning MVP?
Yeah,
dude's immediate.
He's expected to throw 100 innings and have 200 at bats, and it'd be the first time since Babe Ruth that anybody's done that. I mean, and it's not like it won't happen. The dude, you watch him this spring; he's looked incredible.
Yeah, I mean, granted, a lot of things got to go right for that to happen. He's got to stay healthy, first and foremost, to make that happen. But again, I mean, the dude's a media darling, and if he has anywhere close to the season I just mentioned, come September, that's all people are going to be talking about is Shohei Ohtani's 10-win, 30-homer year. And rightfully so. We've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
And so he's a sleeper pick for MVP if you had to make one. But that is 100% dependent on him staying healthy this year.
Yeah. And with Tim Anderson, like you said, I think he's going to be very similar to Lemieux in the fact that, like, he's going to hit for a high average. Yep. And if the White Sox are good, he's going to get the recognition because he's like, I wouldn't say he's necessarily like a definitive superstar, but he is the face of the White Sox. He's
absolutely
one of the faces of baseball. He's made the game so much more enjoyable the last couple of years, which is what they need so bad. Baseball needs.
And he's been the MVP of that team.
Yeah,
he's been the MVP of the team, just like Lemieux. He's been the MVP of the Yankees, and it's like, granted, it's like Abreu puts up better power numbers. And, you know, if you're talking MVP, your power guys are typically top of that list every year. But it's like LeMahieu and Anderson, they can hit for high enough averages to where their power numbers don't need to be astronomical for them to win those awards, right?
Yeah. And you'll see, like, Anderson will hit for power when he wants to. I mean, he'll just completely dick slap a ball. It's awesome.
Yeah. And it's like, and we've seen it before, like the year Altuve beat Judge, right? Judge had 55 homers or whatever ridiculous number it was, but Altuve bat like 340 or something that year, right? And the Astros had a fantastic year. That was the year they went on and won a World Series and everything. And so it's like, if you're the best player on your team in a year where your team is doing absolutely bonkers, there's a good chance you win that award.
Yeah.
So I like the Anderson pick.
I think this is going to be his best chance to win it, probably because like the White Sox are definitely in a win now situation. He's going to hit for high average. He's going to steal bases. He's going to be all over the media because of the flair, I guess, that you want to say he brings. Very similar to Javi Baez across town.
Yeah.
And
he's got some box office to him.
Yeah, and baseball needs it. They can't afford to just keep doing this bullshit.
Yeah.
Strive for money.
Especially
and not watch the game, but.
I mean, especially with what they're facing next winter. I mean, they're going to need all the positive publicity they can get this season.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that they're not doing full stadiums opening day because they are going to need as much revenue and as much positivity as they can get going into the winter because I tell you, I mean, this winter is going to be ugly.
Yeah.
Very ugly. So, who do you got NL MVP?
Juan Soto. That one was so easy for me. I don't know why. Like, dude's still, 22?
Yep.
Incredible vision at the plate. Super disciplined.
Crispy pick. That's crispy.
Will knock the leather off the ball.
Yep.
Gonna hit for a high. I think he led the league in average last year, the National League.
He did.
And he's still. I mean, he's not even close to his prime. Yeah, I think he's gonna get it. I think if he doesn't get it this year, he's getting like 4 in a row.
I like that pick. I mean, he's on the short list for sure. Should he stay healthy? My pick, I got Ronald Acuna Jr. out of Atlanta.
Yeah, he was my second. So.
Yeah. I think Acuna. I mean, I would be surprised if he doesn't go 40-40 this year. 40 homers, 40 steals. I think there's a solid chance he could do 50-50. Because if it gets to September and like September 15th, he's got 47 homers and like 36 steals. You're telling me every time he touches the base, he isn't taking off for second?
He is going to full send. It's going to be
exactly.
awesome.
He's going to try to get to that 50-50 marker. And if a player puts up 50-50, you have to that is the MVP. Yeah. I mean, you just can't vote, especially for a team like the Braves who have a chance to win 100 games this year. Forget about it. That is your MVP. I think if he stays healthy, that's going to be a storyline to watch throughout the year. And I think you're going to have a very difficult time voting against Acuna for MVP.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So before we go into the playoffs, let's do our Triple Crown category winners. So who do you got home run king in the AL?
Trout.
Same. I got Trout as well. Same reasons that we discussed earlier. We don't have to go much further into it. What about the NL?
Pete Alonso. I think he's going to hit for power. The Mets need him. They're gonna ask him to do so much because they need so much help on offense. So
absolutely. I got Acuna winning this award. Believe it or not, I think
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. I mean, Big Meat Pete. That's a good pick. Bellinger's also a good pick, but I don't see Bellinger repeating the same kind of success he's had, especially in a lineup now that revolves around Mookie Betts. So
yeah.
So RBI, who do you got?
AL. I went Luke Voit.
Even though he's injured?
Is he?
Yeah, he's out the first 6 weeks of the year.
Well, I didn't know that. Let me think.
I mean, it would be a fucking awesome year if he led the league in RBIs. But
I mean, yeah. God damn it! I look like an idiot. I look like a buffoon. Make your pick. I gotta think of one. Actually, I'm gonna Matt Chapman.
Okay. I don't hate it. I'm going to go 3P. I got Jose Abreu winning this award. I think that he's going to get a lot of base runners batting fourth in that lineup ahead of him, and I think he's going to be able to drive runs home. Sleeper picks for this award to watch out for. If Stanton can stay healthy, I think he's got a chance to win this award. He bats fourth in that lineup anyway, and you know Lemieux is getting on base a lot. Aaron Hicks, if he can stay healthy, he's very good at getting on base. Aaron Judge, he draws a lot of walks. But now Judge is injured, so you can't even. Yankees. I'll get into this later, but
a real sleeper is Luke Voit.
yeah, I mean, that would be a real sleeper. Who do you got?
Freddie Freeman. Easy.
That's a good point. I did not choose him. I got Nolan Arenado. I think Arenado in St. Louis. Colorado has not been very good at all like the last 3 or 4 years. And remember, Arenado did win the RBI title like 5 years ago, back when they were pretty decent. And now that he's in St. Louis with a lot of offensive talent around him, I think he's going to get a lot more base runners while he's up at the plate. And I think you're going to see the same kind of 120 kind of RBI season that he's put up in the past. So
yeah,
I got Arenado. This is going to be a big year for Nolan. Big year. So
I hope not.
Check him. Average. Who you guys are batting crown?
I went Tim Anderson just because I have him as my MVP. I think he's going to need it. And I don't think it's like a stretch. I think he's like it's going to be him or LeMahieu. I would have to assume. Yep. So
and I got LeMahieu for the exact reasons you just said. If he's going to be my MVP, he's got to put up a high average. And I mean, if anyone else has a higher average than him, he's not MVP. So I got Lemieux winning the batting crown. And he's won the batting crown like 3 times between the 2 leagues, between his time in Colorado and New York. So it's not a bad pick. Who do you got in the NL?
Soto.
I got his teammate Trey Turner winning this award. Turner bats leadoff in that lineup. Dude's got amazing speed. He can bunt for hits. And the guy he reads the strike zone very well. I think this is the year you could see him batting like 330. So I got Turner winning that award.
Yeah, Nationals are gonna be fun. They might not be necessarily good, but they're gonna be fun. I should have picked it. Oh, damn it.
So in this league, you better be good or you better be fun. And Toronto, they're not very good, right? But at least they're fun. They're fun to watch, you know what I mean? So
they got a bunch of names.
They do. Names that could make some pretty big strides this year. So getting into that, let's do our playoff predictions here. We're gonna do the AL first. We're gonna go through that side of the playoffs. So then we'll do the NL side of the playoffs, and then we'll do a World Series prediction. So who do you got coming out of the AL East?
Yankees.
I got the same. So Tampa Bay did lose Blake Snell, which plays a big part of this. The Yankees picked up Corey Kluber. That's going to help bolster that pitching staff. They did lose Ottavino to the Red Sox, but Ottavino wasn't pitching that well near the end of last season, so I'm not entirely sure that hurts their bullpen that much. I think the Yankees are finally starting to figure out that if you're going to win a world title, you better have some fucking starting pitching and not rely on 4 innings worth of bullpen every night. So having Garrett Cole and Kluber, I think that's going to help. And I wouldn't be surprised if they made a move towards the deadline, similar to what Houston's done the last 2 years.
Yeah.
AL Central, who do you got?
White Sox.
Same. I think this is the year that they make a big leap. I think they're going to make a deep run.
They finally have a good bullpen.
They do.
They're going to be so tough to hit on.
Yep. And come playoffs, if you're going to be pitching against Giolito, you better have a good number 1. And you better hope they win that crown, because if you're facing them in a 1-game playoff, you're in some trouble. AL West, who do you got?
Dude, I don't know. The A's. They lost. Who was
Simeon.
They lost Simeon, but they also lost Hendricks to the White Sox. I don't know who's on their team, but the AL West is so bad. I don't know what to do. A's by default, I guess.
So I'm going to take a sleeper pick here to win this division. I got the Angels. How about that?
I hate it. They got better.
The thing is, Houston held serve, right? They actually lost George Springer to the Blue Jays. Verlander's getting old as dirt. Greinke, maybe he's lost a step off his heater. Who knows? I mean, the A's got worse by losing Simeon, who was an MVP candidate last year. The Mariners aren't going to be taking that kind of step anytime soon. Like, who else are you picking? No. The Angels, I think if Trout can play the way Trout has always played, and if Ohtani can put up the kind of numbers that he might this year, I could see the Angels winning 94 games, and 94 games should be enough to win that division.
That's going to be the only division in baseball history where 2 players can carry you to a division.
Oh, for sure.
Like the AL West and the AL Central, to a degree, not nearly as bad. The AL West is so bad.
I mean, the A's got Rendon and they got Pujols, but like they're not making. They're not like organized. Yeah, the A's got Albert Pujols.
When?
He's played there for like the last 10 years.
It's the Angels, you dipshit.
So what?
The Angels.
Oh shit, that's right.
My fucking got fucking Albert Pujols. My at all. But.
My fucking bad. So no, Angels got Pujols. They got Rendon. I think they got enough talent to win that division.
They got Montana too. He's back with Joe Madden.
That's right. That's right.
I don't hate that for them at all.
I don't hate it either. Who do you guys? So in a 5-team playoff, who are your 2 wild cards?
Twins and Blue Jays.
Okay, I like it. I got Rays and Blue Jays with the Rays hosting that. So what?
I have Twins hosting. So either way.
Okay, yeah. If it's a 16 playoff, I would have the Twins as my 16. So I do not hate that at all.
Yeah, I added the Astros as my 6. So.
Okay, I feel you. So,
this year, God damn.
And how exciting is it going to be this year with the Astros finally getting to play in opposing ballparks with fans? That's going to be so much fun.
I hope.
Now
hoping it die off.
you got AJ Hinch with the Tigers now. I hope they get booed out of every stadium. Alex Cora, he should get shit on too. It's just amazing. I'm so excited for that. So in a 5-team playoff, Rays, Blue Jays. I mean, this would be Glasnow versus Ryu, 2 Cy Young candidates. I just like the Blue Jays offense a little bit more. And in addition with Ryu, I mean, Ryu did not pitch well in their game against the Rays in the playoffs last year. I think he could redeem himself. I would have the Blue Jays coming out of that game. So my AL bracket would be Yankees, Blue Jays, Yankees winning the 1 seed. Yankees, Blue Jays, White Sox, Angels. I would have the Yankees and White Sox coming out of the ALDS, and I would have the White Sox making the World Series.
Let's go.
So
I've got basically the exact same thing. I have the Twins knocking off the Blue Jays in the wild card. Yankees take care of the Twins again. White Sox. Actually, no. I have the White Sox as my 1 seed. So the White Sox knock off the Twins in the wild card. Yankees beat the shit out of the A's. I think the White Sox handle the Yankees. They get to the World Series.
Yep.
Dude, listen. I know I'm a Cubs fan, and you're not supposed to like your rivals. I'm so excited for the White Sox this year.
Yeah.
They're gonna be so much fun. Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah, they got an elite team, and I think they're making the World Series this year. NL East, who do you got?
Listen, I know we talk about the Braves being scary, but man, if that Mets pitching staff hangs on, they're winning that division. I think Lindor's going to be so huge. Alonso, if he carries on like I hope he does, I think they're going to be fine. Pitching
Jeff McNeil bats for average.
Yeah, they've got the pieces to definitely.
Syndergaard comes back late May, so that's another thing to look out for.
Yeah, they're gonna be tough.
They are. I do have the Braves winning that division. I think the Braves are. Boy, it's just going to be so hard to beat them this year. This is their year, to be honest with you. I mean, they've had some hard luck losses the last couple years. I think this is the year they figure it all out. Braves in the NL East. NL Central, who do you got?
I teased it last week, and I feel like such a fucking idiot now because the NL is way tougher to pick than the AL. I went Brewers just because I feel like the Cardinals are just going to have a mishap, and they're just not going to be what we expected. I got the Brewers, but I'm not happy about it.
I got the Cardinals. Winning that division. Arenado for that team is going to be huge. I mean, a bona fide 3-spot hitter. Guy is locked down. Maybe the greatest defensive third baseman ever. I mean, the guy is a. I mean, St. Louis is not a big market, so he's not getting like additional media coverage. But I think more teams are going to find out how good he really is because he's going to be playing in the postseason now. So NL Central, I got the Cardinals. NL West, who do you got?
You can have either one. I took the Dodgers. Padres are going to be right there.
I feel you. I got the Padres winning this division. Padres are going to 1 seed the playoffs on the NL side. That being said, I think the Dodgers have the second best record out of the regular season. It's just they have the 2 best pitching staffs. And really, it's not even close, right? And so they're going to win a lot of regular season games. It's just a matter of can their team show up in the playoffs. And we'll find that out very, very soon. So who are your 2 wild card teams?
Padres very handily are the first, and then the Braves. So I don't have the Cardinals in it. If it's a 6 team, then I think the Cardinals do get it. If it's not, if the Cardinals win the division and it's a 16 playoff, which also opening day's tomorrow, can they figure out what the fuck the playoff format's gonna be?
Yeah.
I'm not asking for fucking. I'm not asking for a lot.
They will probably figure it out closer to the trade deadline to find out how many teams are going to be buyers and sellers. It's bullshit.
I don't know what to say. You've got to have a way to figure. You can't go into the season without a plan. It doesn't make sense. But
no.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's exactly what they're going to do, though.
Yeah. Oh my god. They suck.
So my wild card, I got the Dodgers as the host, and then I've got the Mets finally making the playoffs as the number 2 wild card. So Dodgers Mets in the wild card game. This is Degrom versus Kershaw. Degrom versus Walker Buehler. I'm not picking against Degrom. I'm just not going to do it. One game, you're telling me Jacob Degrom isn't going to bring his absolute best stuff. He might throw a 9-inning. Check that. He might throw a 12-inning shutout if he had to.
If he had to. Knowing his history, he probably will have to.
He probably could. Like you said, he probably will have to. So my bracket, I got Padres, Mets, Braves, Cardinals. This one might surprise you. I got the Mets beating the Padres. I think if you can get this would be a 5-game series. You would have DeGrom, Syndergaard, Stroman.
Yeah.
That is a very good 3-man lineup. And we know the Padres are young. We know the Padres have a lot of young talent. Manny Machado, I mean, he's a veteran on that team. He hasn't played that many playoff games. Dude played half his fucking career in Baltimore. Never sniffed the playoffs, really.
Yeah.
There were a few years they did make the playoffs, but they never really went far. They could never make it past like the Blue Jays in the wild card game or whatever. So I think the Mets having Lindor, having Alonso, having players that are just hungry and ready to win now. I think the Mets make it out of that. Braves, Cardinals. Braves. Not much analysis to make there. Mets and Braves. I like I said, this is the year of the Braves. The Magic. As much as I would love for DeGrom to get a world title, I just don't see it this year. So my World Series is White Sox Braves. I got the Braves winning the World Series this year.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate that at all. The problem with like the National League is I've got the Padres and Braves in the wild card, and those are 2 of the 3 best teams in the league, I would argue. One of them's got to go early. I have the Padres winning because I trust whoever their ace is come wild card time than whoever. Because I'm assuming it'd probably be Snell. Maybe Darvish if he has a good year again, but I think Snell's going to be that front runner because of his playoff experience. And then you're telling me I don't even know who the Braves ace is right now because Soroka's out. I don't know if he's out still. I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know. I've not kept up. Either way, I've got the Padres moving on. Padres, they get the Dodgers. No. Padres fucked up. I fucked up.
And it's like, I mean, granted, the Dodgers have an amazing. I mean, they got Bauer, they've got Buehler, they got Kershaw, they got Dustin May, they've got David Price. I mean, they've got just. I'm sure I'm leaving out 1 or 2 people, but it's like, are you gonna throw each of those guys 2 innings in a wild card game? No, because that fucks up your whole fucking strategy. I mean, if they win that division and can make it guaranteed to a 5-game playoff, they're gonna be trouble. But I don't know. That race between them and the Padres is gonna be so tight this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be incredible. I messed up because I put these down the same order you read them, which is super convenient, but it fucked me up in the end. I put like the East and the Central and the West, but then I looked at that as my 1 through my 3. That's not how it played out. Dodgers definitely win. They get the 1 seed. So I have Dodgers Padres in the first round. Give me the Dodgers. Mets Brewers then in the NLDS. Give me the Mets. Dodgers Mets in the NLCS. I'm gonna stick with the Dodgers, but man, that'd be fun. That's 3-4 games of just first team to score wins, and you might not see that for a while. But Dodgers, Dodgers White Sox in my World Series.
Who you got winning?
Dodgers.
Yep. I mean, really, it's going to be really hard to pick against the Dodgers should they make it past the wild card game. I really think the only way their best chance of getting eliminated this year is if the Padres win that division and they have to face a Degrom in the because I mean if they have to face like a Soroka in the wild card game, I would feel much better about that than having to face like one of the greatest pitchers of my lifetime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people would probably be in that boat. I'd take my chances on a dice roll from anybody else other than Degrom. Even if he told me Degrom had like a sprained finger, I'm probably still hoping I don't get him. Because I
and it's like, okay. Well, and it's like, okay, so, I mean, granted, we don't know how he's going to look coming off of Tommy John, but it's like, so say Degrom pitches like 4 innings and you get him out, like say, I don't know, like say it's a 4-4 game after the 4th, right? It's like they pull their starter, you pull yours. It's like, okay, so now you have Walker Buehler versus Noah Syndergaard, and that makes you feel any better?
Yeah. Good luck.
Like, yeah, let me go get Thor throwing 102. Like
100-mile-an-hour sinker.
Good luck. So it's going to be exciting. My sleeper teams to look out for this year, like I mentioned, I got the Angels winning. I think they're going to be a sleeper team, but really, no one in that team's really good. But just comparatively, based off previous years, the Angels have to be considered a sleeper pick. The Red Sox, I think, could be a sleeper team this year with having Alex Cora back again. If Chris Sale can return to form, which I do not expect to happen, if Bogarts can help lead that team, if Martinez can get back to what he used to be, that team could make a lot of damage throughout the season, as much as I hate to say that. The Nationals, I think, can make some noise, get back to their World Series form if Soto can play good, if Strasburg can continue to pitch well, if Max Scherzer can pitch well as well, they can get back into the playoffs. And then this one might make you happy. It may piss you off. I don't know. I think the Cubs could be sleepers, to be honest with you. They got a good pitching staff. They got a good pitching staff, starting pitching staff, not relief. Their relief, I mean, they might lose 40 games this year because of their relief pitching, but their starting pitching is respectable. I mean, they still got offense between Baez, Bryant. Is Contreras still on that team? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So add him to it. I mean, the Cubs could be sleepers to sneak into a wild card. Actually, no, check that. They're not making the wild. They'd have to win that division.
If it's 6 teams, I think they have a chance. If it's a 6-team playoff, but other than that, I don't think they have so much because, like you said, their bullpen's not good. You feel comfortable with Hendricks going into the season. Alzolay you can live with. Zach Davies is part of your rotation. It could be a lot worse. I just don't know who the other 2 starters are going to be. It's not looking pretty. Arrieta, okay, it's not 2016, but I mean, you've got.
Kimbrel is a shell of himself now.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if he's making the roster. He should just because the rest of the bullpen's so bad. I mean, I turned it on the other day. I mean, I know it's spring training. You're not supposed to read into it. They gave up 9th inning go-ahead homers back-to-back days. And I'm like, it's not gonna be anything new come midsummer. So I'm super excited. Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, all in the middle of contract disputes. They're all set to hit the market after the season. The team offered Rizzo 4-year, $60 million contract extension. He said, "What the fuck is that?" Respectfully, so they upped it to 5 years, $75 million, same annual average.
Yep.
Well, he turned that one down. He wants 6 figures or 7 to 8. He wants 8 figures. No, god damn, dude, I'm having an aneurysm.
9 figures.
He wants 9 figures. He wants over 100 million. Thank you. And he deserves it. He's just getting up there in age. I get the hesitation. They gotta pay Baez. They've got to pay Bryant, or get something for him while they can. Contreras is gonna have a hot market. But
You're telling me old man Ricketts isn't gonna pay his players? What?
Crazy, dude. It's crazy. I don't. Their lineup 1 through 9 could be the best in baseball, top to bottom. Just because there's maybe not with the Dodgers. That's like the only one's like definitive. But if everybody on that Cubs lineup is playing to the level that they're capable of, go back to like the 2018 season, yeah, they're gonna be relevant just because their bullpen can't flow every game, hopefully. But yeah, it's gonna be a bad season for them.
Yeah,
Hopefully they don't ruin everything, but
it's the price. And it all starts tomorrow. And no, that's not an April Fool's joke. That is legitimate.
Yeah, every team plays tomorrow. But my surprise teams, real quick, I went Royals just because of Bobby Witt, Alberto Mondesi. I like their bullpen. They've got a lot of young pitchers that I really like. Whit Merrifield's always going to be good. He's always like one of those guys like, oh, is he going to be MVP? And then it's, oh, is he going to be traded at the deadline? And then none of it ever happens.
Yeah.
Brewers, I really just like him for Devin Williams. That dude's nasty out of the bullpen. You put Josh Hader in there. You got 2 unhittable guys out of your bullpen. They got Colton Wong, I believe. I don't hate him at all. I think he's a very good second baseman. And then I'm with you with the Marlins as just a fun team, rotation-wise. Their starting 5 could be the most dangerous in baseball because they're all throwing 100 and they don't care. You hit it off of me, but I'm coming at you. And yeah, it's going to make
Jeter's done a really good job of building a team from scratch down there. I mean, everyone kind of made fun of him for trading that massive contract of Stanton's to New York for essentially nothing. But it's like, if you kind of look at it in retrospect, that was a really good move on Jeter's part. Because Stanton has been injured for the better part of the last 3 years. And so he hasn't given you that same kind of production that he gave you the year that he earned that $330 million contract. And so he got that contract off the books, and now he has a rotation of just straight damn, that sucks. Just straight flamethrowers. And I mean, Jeter, give him some credit. Dude has done some good stuff down there in Miami.
Yeah, the Marlins, I don't know, like, we saw it last year. Like, yeah, they had like 900 guys come through the ranks and play for them. I don't know if their lineup's going to be anything close to good, but if you have guys like Alcantara and Sanchez and Urania, and there's another one that I'm missing, you don't want to step into the box against it. They all will throw triple digits at some point this season. They're dangerous. They're not like last year they got into the playoffs because, 60-game season definitely helped them out. But, yeah, they're going to put up fights. They're going to have a lot of low-scoring games. Part of it's because their offense sucks. Part of it's because their pitching dominates. So, but you're also going to have the games where their pitching just can't find the zone. They can't control the ball whatsoever. And they're giving up 13 runs. But that's just part of baseball anyway. So,
sure.
It's to be expected at some point.
Absolutely.
Oh. Got anything else?
I do not. Been a good show. We covered a lot today.
Watchability.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
So like, say you hypothetically have MLB TV or whatever they call their stupid program. These are the 5 teams I'm telling you got to watch, okay? I'm not talking about the Cubs because I'm going to watch them anyway. I love putting myself through pain. Number 1's the Padres, obvious reasons. Tatis, megastar. Pitching staff, baller. Probably going to be most likely a playoff team. Don't know a scenario that they're not. 2, White Sox, same exact thing, but replace Tatis with Tim Anderson. Knock that off. Braves, same exact thing as the last 2, but then you throw in Acuna and Albies and Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's not like some, I don't know, he's not like a media star, but he's definitely like one of the best pure guys in baseball. Does it all for his team.
Ozuna's on that team as well.
Ozuna, yeah. Soroka when he comes back. I believe they've got somebody else in the rotation that's worth a shot. I mean, the Braves are fun. They have a lot of fun. They're going to compete. The Mets, Stroman, Syndergaard, Degrom, all you need to know. My last 2, Blue Jays, Nationals. Blue Jays are exciting because they're going to be good. And they're always at. It's like, are they going to be good or are they going to struggle? Same as like the Rays. Yeah, they're going to put up fights. They're going to win games. And then the Nationals, you've got Trey Turner, Schwarber.
This actually, I was going to say, this brings up a good point. Is Toronto becoming more of a destination for players now? Where, well, like, you know, like the knock on them was always, well, players don't want to move to Canada. You know, they don't want to spend half their year or whatever up there. And it's like, I think with Springer signing up there, Ryu signing up there, and like, I feel like players are choosing that more to go potentially be the face of a country or whatever. And it's like, I think Toronto is becoming more of a destination kind of club, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not like an absurd reach to say something like that. I mean, when you put up continued success, they're going to be able to pull.
Well, and the thing is, like, they really haven't, though, recently. Since Batista and Edwin Encarnacion's homers, they really haven't been that good, right? But it's like, I think with, like, I think the success in other sports has helped out the Blue Jays, right? I think the Leafs becoming one of the better teams in the NHL and the Raptors having continued success, and we've seen what that did for Kawhi, right? Yeah. I mean, Fred VanVleet's one of the more I mean, he's got name value. Kyle Lowry in the NBA. I mean, it's not like Toronto is a small market kind of deal anymore.
No.
And I think people are more receptive of the Canadian aspect for whatever reason that is now. I think more players are willing to do that compared to something like 5 or 10 years ago. And so, I mean, you got legitimate superstars on that team. And leave out Ryu. I mean, he is my favorite non-Yankee player, so maybe I got some bias there. But George Springer, world champion. As much as I fucking hate to say it, dude did win a title with the Astros. Bo Bichette, I mean, the guy's got name value. Maybe he's a little overrated, sure, but he's gonna be putting up numbers. Kevin Biggio, one of the better young players in the game. Vlad Jr., the guy is a superstar up there in Toronto. Teoscar Hernandez, that guy could low-key be MVP if he puts it all together. I mean, they
got really good at developing their guys.
Yes, and like I said, I think they're not going to be the glamour location of the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox. They're not a glamour franchise like that. But I think that they're going to be in that next tier of teams pretty solidly for the next good little bit.
Yeah. I don't think that's a reach by any means. I feel like, as long as they continue to show that they can develop their young guys and have some success, they're going to be fine.
I feel like they were on like the same level as like Kansas City for a while. Kansas City or like Milwaukee or something. Like nobody is like going out of their way to go play or sign with Milwaukee or Kansas. Like people will re-sign there, but they're not. That's not first choice on their free agency list, right?
Yeah.
I think that free agents will start to look at Toronto as more of a number one choice for whatever that will be, whether it be marketing, brands, whatever. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I think it wouldn't surprise me to see them become a long-term powerhouse in MLB. So just something to keep in mind.
yeah, not at all. I think you're pretty much right. Especially like if they continue to show that they are willing to pay, guys are going to be more open and receptive to going there. Because I mean, if you like a team like Kansas City's not going to go pay an unrestricted guy from another organization and lure him in.
And I think another thing is that, and this is not a political show. We don't talk politics, but the lifestyle change that you would have in Canada compared to what we have in there, the different kind of benefits and just the way things work with the healthcare and all that, that's appealing to some players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's not absurd to think that plays a role.
Exactly. And so I think, especially with how toxic politics has been in the U.S., especially over the last 2 years with our election and everything, I wouldn't be surprised if players on a day-to-day basis would want to avoid that and, still be able to play MLB but live outside of the country. I don't think that's absurd to think about.
Are they able to play in Toronto this year?
I just read something yesterday that they're playing their third home. Like, I want to say that they're playing in Buffalo still. Because, I don't know how they would be able to do it because with the Canadian border, they're still not allowing, travel. And so, with the NHL, the trade deadline's coming up for the NHL here soon, right? And they just got it to where players who get traded from the U.S. into Canada, all they have to do is quarantine for 7 days instead of 14. So I imagine if they're doing that and they're quarantining for all non-essential travel, the sports doesn't count as essential travel. So every time they would play a series in Canada, they'd have to quarantine. So I imagine that they're still going to be playing their games in Buffalo like they did last year.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because I haven't seen anything officially, but I don't know. It's tough.
But with that being said, should vaccines and stuff be, continuing to be administered and all that stuff, I don't see any reason why by the All-Star break they're not playing in front of maybe not a full stadium there at the Rogers Center, but I don't see why they couldn't be playing there come All-Star break.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the NFL announced, I think it was yesterday, that they're planning to have full capacity all season.
Yeah.
NBA's trending that way.
I think really the only reason why they aren't is because the Canadian government has shut down that border.
Yeah.
I think as soon as that border opens back up, they play in the Rogers Center. Now, whenever that is, I'm not entirely sure, but I think that could be on the horizon sometime this summer. So.
Yeah, I'd expect it to happen sometime middle of the season, but then again, you never know because their policies and their practices are going to be a lot different, and they're also way more cautious and they're handling this a lot better than we are. So we kind of look past it, but whatever. But yeah, I think the Blue Jays are I don't know. I just never know how good they're going to be because you don't hear about them ever.
Sure.
And part of it's probably because they're in Canada, but a lot of it's just because they're not a big market. And even with Vlad, they talk about him every now and then, but you don't hear about.
But here's the thing. What doesn't make them a big market? Because Toronto is the fourth biggest city in North America, behind Mexico City, New York, and Los Angeles. So it's not
because it's not in the U.S., so the U.S. media is just not going to cover them to the same degree that they are.
Okay, so I get that. So, but I mean, they're the number one team in Canada. They're getting all the Canadian coverage. So, I mean, does that cancel out the U.S. small market thing, or?
It just depends, because you're gonna get your name. You're gonna get your name spread more through U.S. media just because they're the only team in Canada. So obviously the majority of the viewership is going to be coming from the U.S. They want that kind of recognition.
Where
Well, it's
they're going to get a lot in Canada, but
like they're going to be dominating the headlines on like TSN, Sportsnet, whatever other media there is up there. But it's like down here in the U.S., it's like I totally get what you're saying. I just think I don't know because like it's not like Kansas City is getting the number one spot on TSN in Canada. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the Dodgers are undefeated. The Blue Jays are still getting that spot. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a tough question. I think I don't know. I think we got to be careful in how we define. Toronto is just so tricky. I think every other team in the U.S. you can make a very solid case for this is why, this is why, this is why. But just having that, there's just such a stronghold, no matter how bad they are in Canada, that they're getting publicity either way. You know?
Yeah.
Because even if you're not a star in America, we've seen what being a star in Canada could do for someone like Kawhi. I mean, they ran a whole King of the North campaign for him up there, right?
Yeah, but they were good, right? So that was helping them.
That's fair.
That's like you can't. It's hard to be bad because
yeah, you're right.
You look at the Raptors between like Vince Carter and then DeMar DeRozan.
Yep.
Name one player.
That's fair.
It's tricky because it is tricky. There's not a lot you can.
Yeah.
You have to
it's
be
hard.
Good. You have to be. You'd be
it's
good
hard
as
to say,
a team, good as an individual, relevant. So.
That's true, and it's hard to say anything about the Leafs because the Leafs have been garbage for a while, and they still get that number one slot. But hockey is that country's national sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't really. That's not on the same level.
Thing
really.
As the Cowboys were absolute dog shit for a long. They're still technically dog shit, but they're America's team.
Exactly.
And they have the.
That's a really good analogy, actually. That's a really good analogy.
Yeah. So.
I agree.
I don't live in Canada, so I can't speak fully, but.
I feel you.
Yeah.
So.
Oh shit! Damn, we're running the waves here.
We are. Well, that's all I got for this week. You got anything else?
I think I've got it all. I think. Yeah, you got the Pacers tonight that I got to watch. Not excited about it at all. And then we got, I guess Easter's this weekend.
It is.
Gnarly.
I feel you.
Yeah, other than that, there ain't shit going on.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Hopefully,
I think I'm going to go home and fry me some breaded cheese cubes. And,
what kind?
Cheddar.
Could have done better.
Could have done pepper jack. I absolutely should have.
Pepper jack's the answer at all times. But
that's true. Don't have pepper jack at the house right now, but we do got cheddar, and cheddar is a very good number 2 to pepper jack.
Wait, do you make it from scratch?
No.
Don't. So
no.
You buy bags of cheese curds, and then you just fry them?
Yeah, our local butcher, they've got this giant 3-pound bag of just breaded. They're pre-breaded, just cheese cubes. Not the curds per se, but just the cubes, and you just throw them in the air fryer for 8 minutes, and they're pretty elite.
I'm gonna need to do that. You got me onto something. I'm gonna have to make that.
They are pretty elite.
I love pepper. I don't like cheese curds or cheese cubes really, but dude, pepper jack gets me, dude.
A few weeks ago, I did some poutine for hockey night in Canada. Oilers were playing the Leafs, and some homemade poutine hits the spot, dude. Highly recommended if you're ever wanting to try something different.
Hard pass.
Oh, you don't like gravy, do you?
I like gravy. I don't know if I like gravy on what is it, French fries and.
French fries and cheese curds and gravy.
Yeah, hard no.
No, that's great, dude.
I don't mix gravy with cheese, bro. That's nasty.
Dude, I promise you, just one time.
It's like putting pickle. I guess people do that. Fuck. It's like pickle on a peanut butter sandwich, but I think people do that. What?
It's elite, dude.
I mean, I'll try it maybe one day.
It is good. It is good. Perfect hockey food. perfect hockey fan. So.
Damn. Speaking of, I did just think of something. Have you been watching Frozen 4 at all?
I saw that. Was it Minnesota who won in 5 overtimes the other night?
Yeah, Duluth. Bro, I turned that game on at like midnight, and it was like middle of second overtime, and that bitch just kept going and going. I'm like, listen, I don't like hockey a whole lot, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch 5 overtimes of college hockey. 2 teams I've never once seen before. Damn, it was thrilling. They had like a goal waved off. Dude, it was like, I believe they were up 2-0 with like 2:30 left in the game, and they blew it.
There really isn't anything better than like playoff overtime hockey, where it's like golden goal wins it. I mean, that is like elite. Like, the only thing that's better is like Olympic overtime hockey, but like you only get that once every 4 years, maybe. So.
Not if you're the U.S. in soccer.
Who did not make the Olympics this year?
Failed to qualify for the Olympics. They still can get the World Cup. I'm telling you right now, 2026, U.S. is making a run. They're going to be tough.
They got some superstars on that team now.
They're going to be very good at soccer, maybe, if they continue to develop. They got to keep a coach that can actually do this shit. But, yeah. U.S. soccer is going to be good.
Well, the first time in forever, we got like half a team playing in Europe.
Yeah. So, a lot of them are playing
big.
First team for, like, big time. I mean, we've got guys playing for Chelsea, guys playing for Man City. Our goalie's at Man City, I believe. He might be on loan somewhere, but you got a midfielder at Juventus. I mean, dude, they got some ballers.
Yep.
It's
exciting.
Knocked out of the round of 30 or knocked out of the round of 16 by
Belgium.
Croatia. Belgium would kick their ass so bad. But in 8 years, that is not 8 years away. Whoa, buddy. In 5 years, when the 2026 World Cup's coming up, I'll preview the U.S. getting their shit kicked in by Axel Witsel and whoever else was playing for Belgium at the time. But
oh, shit.
But, yeah.
Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for us this week, guys. We appreciate it. Maybe your favorite team not lose 100 games this year, but, it might. Unless you're a Yankees fan, then it definitely won't. So
you never know.
Yeah, you never know. That's right. So we're going to hop off here, guys, and y'all be safe, all right?
Yes, sir. Peace
Bang,
out.
bang.